Hello and welcome to week 6 of LIBS 301. This week we will be looking at applying and acknowledging the second half of that step. So for this week, for our to-do list. So for our required materials to look through, we will be looking at the week 6 instructor video. So this video you are watching now. We have a YouTube video looking at the APA 7th edition, the basic of APA in-text citations. We also have an article that is looking at in-text citations with multiple articles and missing information. And then we also have another video looking at quoting, paraphrasing, and summarizing. For the supplemental non-required materials that you guys can look through, we do have the basics of citing and referencing in APA 7th edition, which is a YouTube video. For our assignments that will be due, we have our in-text citations quiz, as well as an in-text citation post. We also have some information from our APA citation guide online, so the URL links. So for this, we will be looking at the basic principles of citations, the parenthetical versus narrative in-text citations, paraphrasing, and quotations. So again, this material is what is replacing our non-required textbook. Also, if you are not able to access these URLs, please let me know as soon as possible and I will get that fixed. For this week's terms and concepts, first we have in-text citation. So this is a brief reference, often using the author's last name, date, and page number, made within the body of your essay that helps to identify an idea's original source. This is also called a parenthetical reference. Next, we have direct quote. So this is taking another person's exact words, word for word, and placing them verbatim into your own work. So it is all of the words, the punctuations, the spellings, everything directly taken from that original source and placed directly into your paper. Now, paraphrasing is restating someone else's thoughts or ideas into your own words without losing the meaning of the original text. Usually this will be a shorter kind of section of a text or a source that you're kind of rephrasing into your own words to fit into your paper. You'll still need to cite those sources, but it is not a direct quote, it is instead a paraphrase. Now a summary is looking a little bit bigger, and it is a brief statement or overview of the main points and ideas expressed within an entirety of a source. So instead of just looking at a paragraph or a section, you are looking at the entire source. So for this week, we are looking again at 2 information literacy concepts. So we are looking at the last 2 concepts, so applying, and we're also revisiting the acknowledge step that we had looked at in previous weeks. So for applying, this is where we're incorporating the information found into a specific project. And in our case, this is going to be our final essay. So the assignments that are connected to the apply step is going to be our in-text citations quiz, our in-text citations post, and the final essay assignment. Now for acknowledgement, this is where we're crediting the original source of information. So this we have already looked at with the APA citations and plagiarism quiz, the APA citations where are you at post, and now again we're also looking at this for our in-text citation assignments, both the quiz and the post for this week. So all of these steps, these 2 are really the ones that are connecting everything together. They're pulling it together. You're presenting something kind of neatly wrapped up in a nice little bow. So let's look at in-text citations a little bit closer. So what are these? So an in-text citation is a reference made within the body of a text alerting the reader to a source that has informed your work. You need to be including the author's last name, the date of publication, and the page number. If any of these materials are missing, you will need to look at either the APA style book or the APA citation manual to see how to create an in-text citation that does still give credit to the source without those pieces of information. You are using in-text citations for direct quotes, paraphrasing, and summarizing. So anytime you are using not your own thoughts, you need to provide an in-text citation. So parenthetical citations. So this is where the author's name and publication date are not mentioned within the text. So they appear in parentheses after the information is presented. So this is where you just kind of provide the information. You aren't necessarily introducing this is said by, this was referenced in, this came from. You're just providing the information. The author information is in parentheses behind. So for example, we have social media users will share different types of content on different sites, often basing their decisions on the mental model of how their audience on each site will react. This is from Picton et al. In 2018. So as you see, the author and the date is in parentheses with the period appearing after the parentheses. Now a narrative citation, on the other hand, is where your author's name appears within the running text of the essay, and the date appears immediately after the author's name. So the author's name appears in the sentence where it is most logical. So make it flow, don't just kind of force the author's name into it. So our example is participants in a study by Picton et al., then in parentheses we have 2018, shared different content on different social media sites, basing their decisions on a mental model of how their audience on each site would react. Same information is being presented, it's just introducing the author in a little bit different of ways. Now, some notes on in-text citations. So when you're using a parenthetical citation, the end of the sentence punctuation comes after the parentheses. Now, when you're providing a direct quote, the order of punctuation is quotation mark, parentheses, and then the ending period. Now with all of these notes, it can be very difficult to kind of finesse where and how in-text citations are created. Practice makes perfect, but always remember you can reach out to me with questions. I am more than happy to help and assist you guys with making sure everything looks correctly as you're writing out your information. So editing all of our materials together. We want to be pulling our found information together. So organize your information in a logical order to make your argument. You should really be adding in a mixture of sources throughout your essay to support that argument. Make sure that you are kind of including different areas, different sources. You can reference a source multiple places in your paper. That is always a great thing to do as well. Make sure you're introducing your sources, you're adding in their information, and then tying the information in with your article. So what this means is introduce kind of the topic you want to be talking about in that paragraph. Add in some thoughts of your own, then introduce your source. Say, according to, maybe just even drop in the information. Make sure you're citing that source, providing the information of the author, where it came from, and then again, tie their information in with your own argument. Don't end a paragraph with a source's pieces of information because it just kind of seems like you dropped it in there and didn't tie it into your own thoughts. Finally, use a combination of direct quotes, paraphrasing, and summarization along with both parenthetical and narrative in-text citations. This really helps elevate your guys' writing. It also allows you to kind of practice and use different types of providing information from outside sources. Again, if you have questions, please reach out and I'm more than happy to help. So this week for our to-do list, materials that you guys will need to look through as required materials. We have this video, so our week 6 instructor video. We have a YouTube video from Scribber, which is the APA 7th edition, Basics of APA in-text citations. We have a web page from Scribber, so it's that connecting web page, which is looking at multiple authors and missing information with our in-text citations. And then we also have a YouTube video from BYU Mass Communications about quoting, paraphrasing, and summarizing. And they break down each of those and how best to do them. For our supplemental or non-required materials that you guys can look through, we do have a video from the Smart Student, which is the basics of citing and referencing in APA 7th edition. So this really looks at how to add in your in-text citations, how to cite it, refer to it, and then add it into your works cited and reference page. Then finally, we do have our APA Style Guide online materials to look through. I have provided the URLs for these. So we have our basic principles of citations, we have parenthetical versus narrative in-text citations, and then information about paraphrasing and quotations. So make sure you're looking through those articles or looking in your guys's physical copies of the APA style manual for this information. 2 assignments are due this week. So first we have our in-text citations quiz. This will be due on Thursday, and like our previous quizzes, you do have 2 chances to take this quiz. So if you got a few wrong, feel free to take it again to see if you can get a higher score. We also have our in-text citations post. So here we are discussing your comfort and confidence level when interacting with in-text citations. So this is a check-in type of post for me to get some feelers out of how you guys are feeling about in-text citations. What have you used before? How is that going? Please respond to 2 of your classmates. So as always, your initial post is due on Thursday, and your response to your classmates is due on Sunday. And as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. You can always email me or set up a virtual or in-person meeting. So have a great week, and I look forward to seeing what you guys think about in-text citations.